Every single day we're swimming in media that's built to get us to think, feel, or buy something. But what if you could actually see the strings? Today, we're handing you 3 secret keys to unlock it all. You'll go from just watching to really seeing. Let's get into it.
Are you tough enough? Sound familiar? Yeah, it's from a Ford truck commercial. You've probably heard lines just like that 1,000 times and never really thought twice about it. But that question, it's not just a question. It's built to get a reaction out of you.
And really, that's the whole point. Every ad, every news story, every single movie is a message that's actively working on us. It's all designed to make you feel something, believe something, or, do something. So today, we're going to make a shift from being passive consumers to active decoders. Now, the skill we're talking about here is called media literacy. And before we jump into our 3 keys, we got to talk about the most important tool in our toolkit, skepticism. But, and this is absolutely crucial, we have to understand that being a skeptic is not the same thing as being a cynic. They are worlds apart.
Okay, think of it like this. A cynic just dismisses everything right off the bat. They believe in nothing. It's kind of the easy way out. A skeptic, on the other hand, does the work. They carefully look at a message, they examine it before they decide if it's believable. It's active, it's engaged, and that's exactly where we want to be.
All right, so we've got our tool, skepticism. Now let's unlock our very first key, and it's this. All media messages are constructed. They are built. Nothing you see on a screen or hear through your headphones just appears. It was put together, piece by people with a very specific goal in mind. And to start taking these messages apart, you only need to ask a few pretty simple questions, like, who actually made this? Was it a journalist, a big corporation, some influencer? And maybe more importantly, why'd they make it? Who paid for this thing to exist? Seriously, following the money trail is almost always the best place to start. So what's really wild about all this is that this constructed media uses a kind of secret language. It's made up of codes and formats and patterns that we've all been trained our whole lives to understand, most of the time without even realizing it. This is a perfect example. Just picture your local TV news. There's a formula, right? You know the drill. 2 anchors sitting at a big desk, the flashy breaking news graphic for a story that actually happened hours ago. You've got the reporter standing on the scene on what's now just an empty sidewalk. They even hype up a little bit of rain like it's a hurricane just to keep you from changing the channel. None of this is an accident. It's the code, and it's all designed to make it feel super urgent and important. So we know messages are constructed, but that's really only half the story. Our second key, well, it flips the camera around to focus on you. Because here's the thing, a media message isn't actually complete until someone receives it. And we all interpret these things through our own completely unique lens. Psychologists actually have a few names for this. So selective exposure, that's just our tendency to watch the news channels or follow the people that we already agree with. Then there's selective perception. That's when we twist what we're seeing to fit what we already believe. And finally, selective retention. That's how we magically remember all the facts that support our argument and kind of forget the ones that don't. Here is the perfect, simplest example of selective perception in action. Imagine a super close play at home plate in a baseball game. 2 fans, 1 for each team, watch the exact same instant replay. The Red Sox fan is screaming, "He was safe! The ump blew it!" But the Yankee fan sees the same thing and says, "Clearly out, good call." It's the same message, but 2 totally different realities. And, this happens with news and politics every single minute of every single day. Okay, so we've got constructed messages on one side, on our own personal biases on the other. That brings us to our third and final key, following the money and the motive. The truth is, every media message has an agenda. It has values embedded deep inside it. And this isn't some huge conspiracy theory, it's just the business reality of how this stuff gets made. For most of the media we consume, the main goal, the #1 agenda, is profit. The show you're watching, the website you're reading, its main job is often just to get a big audience together and then sell that audience's attention to advertisers. This whole system creates what's called an advertiser-friendly environment. And sometimes that influence isn't subtle at all. I mean, get this. This is a real quote from a TV station in Boston, and they were explaining why they wouldn't run an ad that was critical of the healthcare system. They flat out admitted they didn't want to upset their advertisers, who happen to be health insurance companies. That is following the money right there in black and white.
And beyond just the money, we also find these embedded values. If you start looking for it, you'll see how often media just reinforces the way things are. Or how it uses stereotypes as shortcuts. The nerdy character always wears glasses, right? These aren't just simple stories. They're pushing a very specific worldview, one that often makes whole groups of people feel completely invisible.
So let's put it all together. Key number 1, messages are built, they're not born. Key number 2, that your own mind, your own biases play a huge role in how you see things. And key number 3, that there's almost always a commercial motive behind the whole shebang. These are the keys. You officially have everything you need to decode any media message that comes your way. So here's a final thought I want to leave you with. The next time you're scrolling your feed or watching a commercial, or even just listening to the news, I want you to just pause for 1 second and use these keys. Ask yourself, who made this and why? How am I personally interpreting this? And what values are they trying to sell me here? So I'll ask you, what's one media message you'll decode today?